Hello, Irene. Welcome back, ladies.
Yeah.
So good to see you again. I have missed you guys, and I hope Batiking has kept you busy and more. You have your own creative outlet.
Yeah.
If you have any of your batik painting pieces that you would like to share with me, yeah, feel free and flex. The young kids now say flexing, so go ahead and go flex. show off your batik pieces if you have done more since the last time we chat with each other. So okay. Go ahead while we wait for a couple more minutes. Have your design trace on the white fabric. Yeah. If you have pre-treated your fabric with color beforehand, that's okay too. Laptop camera down. Got it. Okay. So I did a light tracing and I'm gonna go ahead and stretch my fabric as well. So let's see. Have any of you do bigger works like on a square frame or a larger frame? I see Priya's holding something up. Interesting. Oh, what is that gonna be? Is that gonna be like a pillow?
It's like just like a table runner.
A table runner. Very nice. Is that like how big? Oh my God. Wait. It's huge. Let's have it. How big is
It's not
it?
huge. It's like, yeah, my size maybe.
Wow.
Wow. That takes some time to produce.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing. And I can see the outline. And so with the tools that we're going to be using today, yeah. So when you work on the leaves, how if it's a straight line, you can really take advantage of the Black Hmong tool to allow you to do a very precise outline. So as you know, I use this tool on almost every piece that I make. Yeah. And so I think it's wonderful that you have this Black Hmong tool that can help you do that. And then from here on, let's say if you want to do your tablecloth, like say like a mud cloth style, it's so much easier to do squares. The limit is the potential of what you can do is wide open. Anyway, we have Priya, we have Saima. I know you are busy in the kitchen as well, so feel free to connect with us on the video if you want to. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Munirah. I'm kind of in a fix right now. But I would like to ask a question to the lady who did the table runner. I have a question about the frames. How or where to get that frame where you can do a bigger piece?
Good question.
What I did was I had a wooden TV cover, the TV box. TV box. I have a big 36-inch
TV box.
TV box. Yeah, I use that.
It's just a cardboard box.
Cupboard box. Yeah, the bigger one. So I put I
and
use
then
that
you pin it
on all sides with the rubber bands like this. I put pins.
Let's have a look. Let's learn.
Yeah, I would like to see that too, please.
So there's a pin here.
Cool.
Safety pin. And then I have a rubber band here. The safety pin has one side the cloth and one side the rubber band, and that I stretch it over here. So it balances out on all the four sides.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, because I was planning to do a table runner, but I was not sure how to stretch the fabric, because you know how
Yeah,
difficult it
that's
is
you
to
can
find things
if you
here.
have that big any big box, whichever size it is, the rubber band will balance it out. The size of the rubber
Okay.
bands. If you have long
Okay.
rubber bands, that will balance out. Like
All
I
right,
have
got it.
this long rubber bands.
Oh wow.
Though that you can stretch. You get those in Dollar Tree.
Thank you very much for sharing that.
I
welcome.
know. I love the idea.
Yeah.
It's such a cheap way of getting the fabric stretch, and
Right.
I love it. Thank you, Priya. You are
Welcome.
very creative in finding solution.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That's
and I would like
great.
to connect with you on the group because today, like I told Munirah, I'm in a fix. I have so many things going on at the same time. So I will connect with you guys on the group. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Saima, I have a question for you.
Sure.
What
Yes.
what kind of cake are you baking?
I usually do fresh cream cakes, and this is something. Let me see if I can open my video and show you guys.
Yes, show us.
Okay. So this is an 8-inch fresh cream. It's a black forest cake. It's a chocolate cake with pineapple filling in it. But it has, they needed a color scheme on it, so that's why it's green right now. But I still have to do the roses. I still have to do the cake topper, and it's due at 2:30. I don't know how I'm going to do that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my
So
God.
where do you
All
live?
right.
I mean, are you in New Jersey? I'll
No,
come
I'm
and have
not
some.
Sure, but I'm in California. I'm in Bay Area.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I love
All
to do
right.
cakes, and I do fresh cream cakes. I don't do buttercream cakes.
Okay.
So, yeah. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So I think we're gonna start. Yeah. So about 2 minutes in anyway, and so let's have a look at our tools. Yeah. And if you have not already turned on your skillet, please do that. It takes a couple of minutes for your wax to melt and ready. And so basically, if you look at your black Hmong tool, yeah, you know that it's just 3 pieces of metal. They are band together, and of course there's a tiny little, more like a area, a rib that will carry the wax. Now with this black Hmong tool, you really don't need to worry about the drip, but drip can happen. So I will teach you how to manage that. If you can have some paper towel ready, that would be great. That paper towel we're going to use to dab, get rid of some of that extra wax before we go into the fabric. Okay, and as you noticed, the handle is bamboo, and then there's like a piece of metal, that connect the metal pieces to the handle. So when you dip your black Hmong Tjanting tool into the wax, make sure you only dip the metal pieces. Try and avoid exposing your bamboo piece to that high heat from the hot wax. Okay, and I think as we work on our piece today, on our project, I will talk a little bit more about the Black Hmong tribe and my experience when I went to Sapa. But I think we should just get started so we can, get a lot of practice within the 60 minutes together. So I am going to change my camera here. So give me a minute, okay? So I'm gonna change my camera so you can see the skillet, because I'm gonna kind of guide you on how to control the amount of wax on this Black Hmong tool. All right, so can you see the skillet now? Yeah, you can see that. Okay, hold on. All right, so my wax here is ready. Yeah, and I have some paper towel that I'm going to just right next to my piece here. Okay.
Munirah, I have a request.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
yes.
sorry.
No,
The request is I would like you to write about your Tjanting adventures that you have had around the world onto the group. No, it's really interesting and I would really like to know about them.
Okay,
Please do that.
I have so much like travel videos, so thank you for the encouragement. I will find time to do it slowly. I have so many countries that I have visited and I would love to be able to share it with you, and maybe something that you can look forward to travel to, you know, in the future. Great idea, Saima. It's on my mind, but I haven't done much of the, you know, sharing of the actual, you know, the footage, pictures, people I met, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so
I will be looking forward to that.
okay, and so, you know, firstly, we're gonna hold the Tjanting tool like this. Okay, not like this, because this is just not even possible. We don't want the handle to poke you in your wrist. So the handle is facing the opposite of you, this way. And hold, see how I hold my tool here? Not here, not up here, all the way down. Okay, all the way down, very close to the metal part. And then look at how I just dip the metal pieces in the hot wax, not the whole thing. I don't want to do that. If you do this over time, it can damage the bamboo. Yeah, and what happened is, you know, the connection between at the neck part is going to get loose, and next thing you know, it will break. So you're going to dip, and then this is what I mean by flicking. Yeah, dip, flick, and then dab. Dip, flick, dab, and then I want us to try and do a straight line. So how am I gonna do this? Let's first talk about the front tip and the back tip before we do that, before we do anything. When I say front tip, I mean this part, the sharper one. Okay, that's the front tip. When I say back tip, this is the one. Okay, the one that have more of a 90-degree angle, the one with the acute angle is the front. So I want us to try dip, flick, dab a little bit, and then watch how I put my finger. I'm going to bring the camera down the best I can. I'm gonna put it right here so you can see it. If at any point the view is blocked, just let me know. So the more feedback I get from you, the better. Okay, so look at my pinky. My pinky is supporting, yeah, my hand right now. And then I just go like this. I want you to notice that the back tip is not touching the fabric at all, just the front tip. And then when I get to the corner, I push the back tip like that. Is that clear? Like, can you see it?
Can you repeat it? Can you go? Can you pin the front camera? Like, is right click and
Jonathan?
pin the. Can you pin on the front facing camera? That's a side focus. The one which is on top.
Oh, that one here.
Yeah, can you make that big? Can you make that big? Like, if you right click and pin it, it will be big.
Oh, if we pin it, it can be bigger, he says. She said.
If you right click on that.
This one, but then pin it and or enlarge it if we can.
Now it's spotlight. Yeah, spotlight is there. Correct.
Good. All right, so look at the Munirah Rima camera as well, because that's where you're gonna see the little tips, the little tricks that I do. Dip, flick, okay, and then just the front tip touching the fabric, and then my pinky is guiding me as I slide down the line with my tools. And then whenever I stop,
when you draw the line, only the front tip is touching, not the whole
yes,
bottom?
so I do that because it depends. I want you to try both ways. You can do it now I'm doing all the entire metal piece, okay, touching it. I'd like just to do the tip because I want my line to be a little bit more like a little bit more refined. So you'll get more refined line if you use the front tip. You get more of slightly bigger line if you use the whole, you know, if you go flat like this on the fabric. So you can try that. So let's try just do a simple straight line on the design that we made. So right now I'm going to complete the square that's going to frame this center design that I make. So again, pinky supporting me, just the front tip, go all the way down. Okay. And then wherever it stopped, whenever my wax ran out, I go back and get more wax. The same way, dip, flick, and then dab a little bit and then go into the fabric. So the line that I produce here, if you can see here, they're very thin because I use the front tip. But you can, maybe it works better for you, you know, if you put it flat and then just draw it all the way down. It can be both. It can be done both ways, but yeah. So you can try that. This time here, I'm doing it flat. I feel like when I use the front tip, I press a little bit better. So
okay, did it? Previously the 78.
It really depends.
Violite, which was the first vinyl record, and it was Texarkana Baby by Eddie
How are
Hall.
you guys doing?
Good.
Good?
Mine is not letting any wax out. It seems it has a very teeny tiny hole. I mean, you know, I don't know what you will call it, but it's not letting any wax flow out.
So firstly, that's because your metal probably need to heat up a little bit. So when you first started, always, put in your Tjanting, just the metal part, just a little bit, maybe a minute or two, to make sure that the metal pieces is heat up, and then you can do the flick, the dab a little bit, and then go. Now I know every tools work because I tested them. So all this line here come from the different tools that were sent out to you, and so I think the only problem if you don't see the wax coming out is because the metal tip is just not hard enough. I think we're getting some noise coming in, so if you could mute for a little bit if you want to. That can help everybody. Of course, I like your feedback, because I think when I hear the feedback from you, it always help in terms of me being able to help you how you hold it and how we can work with this tool. So again, I'm going to dip, flick, dab, and then go here. Okay, so I just use, I think the reason why I always like to use the tips rather than the whole flat metal onto the fabric is because I use my tools to do curved line like this. When you do a curved line like this, you cannot be flat, because if you put flat, you will not be able to make that curve. So now watch how I do this so easily. So by training myself to really only use the tips when I do the line, I'm like, training my hand and to be able to use the tips to do, line like this. And that's the goal here. We have to develop like a good way, a good routine or habit when we work with the tools, and just like when we use our traditional Tjanting tools. So if you put it flat like this, you cannot get the curve done. So maybe it's something to consider. You can go flat like this if it is a straight line. Okay, and then for a curve, switch gear to only using the front tip. And look at what I do to my piece. My hand is not moving like this. Okay, my hand stay in one position. What I do is I turn my hoop just slightly so that my hoop is the one that's spinning. My hand, the tool is spin right onto the fabric here. But I move a little bit, enough to, for me to I'm not gonna go like this, like that. So my hand is always on one side of the table. And the same thing if I use the Tjanting tool. I never try to go this way, that way. I always train my hand to just be in one position, and then it's just a matter of moving the piece to allow me to complete the line. So just rotate the hoop. Okay, so now let's see if we want to do, if we want to feel, like see this whole area here with the wax. Watch how I'm using the back tip to fill it in. It's almost like a tip of the pen, and I just, you know, there's enough wax in here to fill up the whole area with wax. You'll be surprised, right? Sometimes when you look at this tool, be like, where did the wax sit? It is there in between the metal pieces. It is there to you know, for a little bit before it get cooled off. You don't have to worry about the drip. Okay, so look at how I'm using the back tip to just do this, and not only you can fill in a solid square like this, you can get the line so precisely. I can also do a dot if I want to. There you go. Yeah, just add a little dot there. And then, you know, you can even do whatever you want, whatever, you know, however you want to be creative. The back tips can be used in this manner. Okay, so the good part is whether you're doing a line, a dot, or just a solid wax out area, you know, not having to worry about the wax draping is such a good thing. So there you go. And then now going back to how are you going to create lines that are so close together? Yeah, because the more refined you can get, the better. Yeah, that's how we can, you know, we want to train ourselves to be able to do lines that are so close together. So being able to, you know how much wax, yeah, like the dab part, when we dip, flick, and then we dab, that is really kind of like a good way to make sure that your line is consistent, but at the same time it's not too big, in order for you to be able to do a more precise line that are next to each other like this. And to be honest, when I do the front tip, I actually press. I really press, almost kind of like, how do I say it? What's the word? Like, you know, it has like, I think the meeting of metal to the fabric at a point like that allow me to have a better control of my tools. I hope I say that not too confusingly. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. So as you work, I would love to hear your feedback, because, you know, an in-person class is different, where I can see even how you hold it. I can correct. I can, you know, ask you to change a certain way in how you work. So the more you kind of share with me how your experience is with the tools, the better I can help. Okay. So, you know, you observe the line just like we work with the regular traditional Tjanting tool. And I hope by now you've already kind of like developed that sense of when to go back into the hot wax and fill up the metal with more, you know, hot wax. So for me, I just observe, you know, and then I just do it. It comes like a natural process for me, you know. So that's kind of what you want. Just observe how the wax appear, and you will know when it's time to get more. Especially, you know, for this tool, you have to do more often. I dip almost at every turn, at every scallop that I'm working on, because, you know, the black Hmong tool doesn't carry a lot of hot wax like the Indonesian or Malaysian tools. So, you know, for whatever it can carry, you want to make sure that, you know, the wax is not too hot, not too cold, you know, the line is not too big, and not too thin either, where, you know, when you dye later on, you're not going to see anything. So if I were to go in the back, I see the line, it looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to try and, Yes,
Excuse
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I'm having trouble with the curves. The straight lines are perfect, no issue.
Okay,
But
all
curve is
right.
something I'm kind of
All right.
yeah.
All right, so we can do that. I have some pieces for a client here that I'm going to create and work with you guys here, and that has curve. Okay, so hopefully I'll be able to kind of like guide you the best I can. This is a mandala piece, and I actually do, I love to do the scallop on a mandala with a black Hmong tool. How do I do that? The front tip, okay? The front tip, again, is something that will help a lot. Watch, yeah, pinky down, and then the tip, and then I press. Maybe you should see how the angle is, the angle that I hold my tools. Jonathan, is there any way you can use your camera or your phone to highlight the angle at which I hold my janting tool? Because I think that makes a difference. All right, so dip, flick, dab a little bit, pinky down, tip going in, and look at the angle that I hold my tool. So whenever I need to move, like it's the tiny little movement that helps. So let's try again. Pinky down, tip, look at the angle between the
Yes.
metal. Yeah, and then I can do this. So maybe like how I turn my wrist, yeah, make it easier for me. But more importantly, that front tip.
Yeah, I guess it's a matter of getting the hang of the angle that you're working at. Because
Correct.
yes.
And look at how when you do mandala like this, it looks, I mean, to me, all these lines is so easy to do because we have the right tool. So I hope you have the same experience. And even here, look, I can go like that, front tip, okay, like this.
Thank you,
And
Munirah.
welcome, yep, and go like that, okay. And then whenever I work, and when on a design like this, for example, anywhere I see a straight line, I go and address that first on a design. And so, whatever you do, whatever design, tablecloth, whatever, let's go ahead. When you first start your piece, wherever there is straight line, get started on the straight line first, and then you can switch back to your regular Indonesian janting tool. So that way a completion of your batik piece, required both, the black Hmong for the straight line, or for easy curve like this that you can do, and then you can do the rest with your regular janting. So get used to combining the tools of the trades to create a piece. All right. So let me see the next step that I wanted to show you. When you create, whether it's a black Hmong motifs or mark cloth motifs, you have to decide which area to block the from getting in, right, on the fabric. So for example, if I want this line here to be solid, this is also another way on how you can use the tools. I move my tool sideways. You see how easy it is for me to fill in the whole area with wax? Because when I do that, I can create a crackle, right before I dip in the fabric. It is so easy to use this tool to fill in the area like that. So in this particular one, I haven't done the straight line yet. Watch how easy it is for me. I just go like that and stop. Yeah. And so dip. You don't have to dab very much. You see, I did not dab just now. Just as I say it, look at what happened. Yeah. So it carried too much, but I can fix it. So I just go back and then fix it like that, like nothing happened. Okay. But the dab part is important for you to control how much wax is on this metal piece here. Okay. Of course, it feels like we're wasting wax on the paper, but you know, we want the line to be nice. You know, I haven't figured out a way to recycle the wax on the paper towel yet. When I get to it, I will share with you. So that's how we do it. Okay. And now, when do we use the back tip? Well, you can use the back tip, like I said earlier, yeah, to do like a small area like this. It will feel like you are using a pen. But when you do that, make sure that this angle here, the front tip is all the way up. So that way you're really focusing on using the back tip of the tools, yeah, to do this. And then fill it in. Okay, so you need more wax. Go in and do that. Okay. Can I do it like this? Yes, I could, but because the line is so small, it's much easier for me to do the back tip rather than the front tip. So whether you use front or back, it really depends on also, you know, on what are you working on, if you're comfortable with it, yeah. So some of these tools sometimes really depend on how you connect with it. You know, I can tell you one way, but then sometimes if you feel like, oh, Munirah, the back tip feel better for me, then, you know, go ahead and use more of the back tips than the front. Yeah, if you look at an original like black Hmong design, what you can do on the fabric can get really, really refined and thin. So I'm trying to look for sample. I don't have it, but maybe do 1 second. A sample that I did in Sapa, and then I dyed it in the last class with the group. No, that's not the one. I have even a tinier piece. And the point is I wanted to show you how much details you could get with just the black Hmong tool. You'll be like, how do you get all that details in? But it's possible. It's possible if you learn to train yourself to use the tip properly. And it may take some time to get to that level, but you know, Tjanting is all about how you connect with the tools. You have to practice a lot to get to a point where it becomes so easy, whether you're doing line, curve, dots, whatever. And then from there, the sky's the limit and what you can do on a piece of fabric. And there you go. Now, I know some of you ordered the L size. For the L size, I think it's best if you use like a thicker fabric. Why? Now, in general, when you work with the Tjanting, the size matters. The size of the spout matters when it comes to type of fabric do you use. The thicker the fabric, the larger the spout you want, because you want more wax to flow out so it can permeate the thicker fiber, the thicker cloth. So the same way, if we are, let's say, doing this design on like a jeans type material, right? You know, imagine if you start with like a white jean jacket and then, you know, you go ahead and do like all this random line, you know, awesome design on it. I would recommend like the bigger tools, the L size, yeah, because that's it just go hand in hand. You know, the fabrics, the larger tools, nice tools. It makes the process of covering a large area easier as well. So there you go. I'm gonna complete this. Now, feel free to ask me question. I want to hear about, you know, how you are doing with your lines. Okay. So again, if you are waxing out the whole area, yeah, you are going to move your Tjanting tool sideways. And that is a way for you to spread the wax on the fabric. And to be honest, I'm using this tool because then I know my wax is not too thick on the fabric because we're just spreading it sideways like this. So how are you guys holding it? Irene, how are you holding your tool? I want to hear some feedback from you. Good. So I hold it not like that. I like my hand like this. I don't know how to. So it's resting third finger, and then my point finger here is holding it, and my thumb locking it in position like that. Yeah, exactly. Just okay. The tool, the handle is resting on my my middle finger, and then my pointy finger here is holding it in the front. My thumb pressing it down, and that's how you have a nice grip of your Tjanting tool. Okay, just like this. All right. Now I've seen pictures of the black Hmong where they hold it like this. You know, when they do a straight line, I have seen, yeah, they do it like this and they just go straight down. I think for me, it's very hard for me. I think over time, with all the Tjanting work that I've done, you know, some part of the muscle of my hand gets stronger than others. You know, so I feel very awkward when I hold it like this. I feel like I'm gonna stab somebody like this. Like what? I cannot do it. So I just oh my goodness. So now again, whenever you take a break, yeah, your metal, you know, cool off. Always go back, dip it, and heat it up first before you start again. And then you can begin. Okay, so make sure the metal part of your Tjanting is heat up before you attempt to, you know, carry the wax to the fabric. And same thing like our traditional Tjanting tools, yeah. So now I'm waxing out this area, filling it up. Okay, in here. So I hope you find this tool a lot easier to work with than the traditional Tjanting tools. What do you think, Priya?
This is much easier. I gave up on the other tools, so
Yeah.
this is easier for me now.
Awesome. Yeah, no
But
worry
the
on
thing
the
is, once you
drip.
flick it, I tried it directly, but then I used to get those drops. Now, if I wipe it on the paper towel and do it, it's much better.
Yeah, so always, I guess when you flick this tool here, that you may get sprinkle all over. So
Yeah.
just kind of realize that, you know, you may have like some wax dots all around your skillet.
Right.
So what happens is you're gonna have so much fun and you just go, you know, flicking and flicking.
So, do you put too much? How much pressure do you put on the cloth?
Oh,
Do you put too much pressure?
that is a tricky one. How do I
When you
answer
make
that?
when you make the
So okay.
wavy lines, yeah.
Okay, so firstly, when it comes to pressure, I need to go back to highlight something that is important. The stretch, how you stretch the fabric is important. I know you pull it with the rubber band, yeah?
Yeah.
And your fabric may have like when you pressed on it, it may give in a little bit.
Yeah, it bends.
Yeah, it may is that. So with this Tjanting tool or any other Tjanting tool, I think how you stretch your fabric is important. To me, you know, I like things to be very stretched out because then when I press, I know how much I need to press to get the line done. Like it's consistent. You know,
Okay.
if it's too loose, I cannot work. I cannot do my line precisely.
Right.
Because it's just the fabric give in too much. So
Yeah.
you know, if possible, rather than having 4 corners all pin and pull and tied to the frame,
Yeah.
try and do more. try and do more shorter interval. I have to show you like how I normally do it on my bigger pieces here. This is a bigger piece, and I have like say on just on this side alone, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 places, and then this thing here, like if I put this thing here, you know, it bound like it's like that. It's stretched nicely.
Okay.
To me,
Okay.
the stretch part is so key. So figure out, I know you're creative, figure out how to be able to pull that fabric a little bit more.
Okay.
I have a couple of places where I had 2 small lines and
we can go over.
came out.
Can we, can I see it?
Yeah.
Can I see it, Erin?
So like right here, can you
Ooh,
see that?
beautiful. Look at that little dots and the flower part. I love it. All right,
So
I'm
too
gonna try
much
and
white came out here.
I know.
So
That's too
I wonder if I
thin.
should just fill that in and just make it a wide line.
Yes, make that a white line.
That would be a
Agreed.
good fix, wouldn't it?
It will be a good creative fix. And I think if I show you some sample, maybe it will give you some idea on how, as far as designing is concerned, deciding whether to do a solid line or a skinny line, a single line, affects how the piece look overall. And you only get to see that after you dip it in the dye. So you see how this line here, skinny, 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 and then this one is thicker. I think at some point you want it to be thicker because it make it pop. Yeah, it make it pop. Let's say I want to show up more pieces, but typically, like I know we want to have a good balance. We want the piece to look great. There's nothing wrong with making sure that that line is thicker. Trust me. There's nothing wrong because when you dip it in a dark color, that contrast is what you want. So maybe look at here. The line is so thin. It's like not that satisfying for me to look at as opposed to this line, which is much more bold. Okay. So that go back to that statement of how much wet you put in is going to affect the look.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to affect the look, whether you want it bold or whether you want it just like lightly on the fabric.
Right.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
So
Wow.
Munirah, for that sample, what you're showing right now, Munirah, did you do that sample with one hmong or 2 size hmongs? One small and one big hmong?
No, I use it on one, but I have a situation. I was using a brand new tools. What happened is this tool here, I born with my tools. I am happy using this tool and it's the right size for me. It's all, broken, but I love it. I fix it and I love it. So on that particular day, I was using this other tool that, like all the student in the group, was my first time using it. So I was kind of like in the process of trying to learn it as well, because we have to remember every tool that is handmade can behave differently. I can never predict how it's going to carry the wax. So so some of the line here are done with smaller tools like this, and I believe you are right. The bigger tools, I use a larger tools to demonstrate the difference between what you can do on the sizes of the metal. Yes, I remember now. So of course, on a piece like this, you will get the white line, and then the deep space color is going to be like a dark blue color, which is like this color. And of course, in the future, you can always pre-treat the fabric like this. Dip it in the blue first and then start designing, and then dip it in a darker color. So that's how you create petite pieces that does not have those white lines. All the black hmong, batik or the deep blue color, because they use natural indigo. They don't use the color fuzz that we use here in the United States, which is better, it's more sustainable. And, you know, the Black Hmong people migrated from China, and it's pretty amazing how in the process of them trying to survive a revolution, they take with them these tools and their heritage, and they're still able to do their batik, you know, in northern Vietnam. And when I was in Sapa, yeah, you know, Jonathan pointed out to me how close we are to the Chinese border. We're just about 10 minutes away. And that's how close it is between southern China and northern Vietnam. They share the border. The country is beautiful. And, you know, sometimes, you know, I feel quite lucky to be able to share this tool with you, because when I went to Sapa, I have no idea I was going to end up, you know, doing a whole class on the Black Hmong. I was just on a trip to discover, to learn, just like you. You know, I want to learn about the tools that they were using, but I never thought that, you know, I'll be able to teach class after class, and even, you know, be able to import this tool. So believe me, a lot of even the professional batik artists don't have these tools. So I feel that it's great that you're supporting me, and I can also help you.
So is this the tool, Munirah, is this the tool you use for all your designs?
No, the tools that I use for when I work, I'll be honest, so you can kind of see. I'm going to shift the camera back to the front camera here so you can see me. All right, so I use this tool mostly. Yeah, this is from, I'm trying to remember. This is from Terengganu, Malaysia, and this is the Black Hmong. And so I use this tool on almost every piece that I produce. I like it because this one is very light. This one is very light for me, but it's in the same shape as the Tjanting custard. This one, yeah, this one feels heavy to me. So it feels a lot heavier. This one is so light. I love it. And of course, you know, this one is always gonna be my my secret tools when I do precise straight line. And then this other one, I used to love this tool from Indonesia. Love it, love it, love it. Until something new come along. It's kind of like, you know, relationship. Not like that, but like, you know, I don't want to break out with my tools. No. You know, and I like my relationship. So I like all my tools. It's just like, you know, the one that I really like and I feel connected the most. I feel easy, comfortable, and I know I can rely on it. So
so for straight lines, you use the Hmong mostly.
For straight line, yes. And like I said earlier, when I do a piece, I want to go back to, let's look at this piece here. This is a bird of paradise. There's a leaves here that I started on a piece for my client. Watch how I'm gonna do the leaves part here. So quick and easy. Now with the center line for the leaves, and then I'm gonna do the vine here. I'm just gonna take the front tip of my Black Hmong tool and just pull it toward me. And I did make a note in the reference material. Yeah, try not to do this like that, the opposite direction. If you do that, if you know, you don't want it to smash on the fabric. Okay. So always.
Can I have a closer view of it?
Yes.
1 second.
Jonathan.
1 second. Okay. Yeah. I got it. So
if you can, Jonathan, I think we need a close up of this one more time. 1 second. He is coming. So look at that. This is so easy. And I really hope the design botanical design or whatever. Look at how much easier to do this design.
Right.
Okay, look at that. Yeah, and the same way, if I were to go here, and I can do this, a little bit of the turn here, a little bit of the corner here, and it just goes so straight, so precise. I mean, not straight, but so kind of like hassle-free. And I think anybody, even if you don't have a steady hand, with this tool, you can really produce a good outline. And that's the whole point, right? Kind of like, you know, using every tool that we can to allow us to work efficiently. And the student from the first group said to me, Munirah, you saved the best for last. So that's it. Okay. There you go. Yep. So I was gonna say something, but I don't remember anymore. But maybe it will come back. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I know, and sometimes when people ask me, so how long do you spend producing each piece? It can be very fast. If let's say that piece has a lot of straight line or even slightly curved that I can tackle with the tools like this, it can really increase, you know, how efficient I work, how fast I can produce each piece. This line here is a little bit, I was doing this line and I got so dizzy trying to figure out how many layers do I have to do. So I need an eraser, I need to edit a little bit here. So how are we doing? Any more feedback, any more, you know, that you want to share with me on this tool? This is the time to ask, because I'll be able to, you know, guide you. So it's easier for you to work. Irene, you doing okay?
Yes, I made those lines thicker, and so mine is finished. But
there you go. See,
this
wow, Irene,
this tool is so much faster.
What? You are done? Wait.
Yeah. I can't believe how much easier this tool.
Are you sure you're just learning batik like a couple of months ago? Like, I don't know.
Irene, can you show yours again?
I made a really simple pattern because I was.
But I love it. I love it,
nice.
Irene.
Nice.
Thank you.
Love it. I think the simplicity is beautiful.
Thank you.
That's gonna be a nice handkerchief.
Yeah.
You know what? So share with me, what are the inspiration that you have in mind in terms of like what can you do with this new skill and all these tools? You can make napkins and you know.
Yeah, I'd really like to try scarves, and I have a whole bunch of little like little bags that are like made out of material like this.
Really?
Bags, so I'd like to put designs on the front of those. They're like little gift.
Oh, fancy. Share with me your journey, and I love to see it. And I know, I mean, this, you know, a lot of people that end up taking the class to learn and keep on learning, you know, all these different tools or different classes that are offered are very crafty. They're very crafty and love the creative process. So you know, feel free to share with me. Yeah.
Okay.
So yep.
This is just a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed your classes.
Yay, thank you so much. Yeah, I enjoy this. I mean, you know, for me teaching in-person class, I just had just now is different. But this, I think that, you know, it's the fact that we meet, you know, every now and then, I think it's like me seeing you progress at the same time is special. It's not like, you know what I mean? Yeah, and you can be anywhere and we can still connect. So I love that process.
Did you hit snow when you were in Montana?
Yes, it was snowing. It's so beautiful. I love it. So yeah, I have a video of my daughter going crazy. And you see how this area here, I start off the design with just like a triangle here, yeah, all along. But then I did it. I pull in Irene. I do an Irene. So now I make it a little bit thicker, and I'm like, it's pretty when it's thicker. I don't want just it balance with this. So sometime in designing, it's good to kind of like see it and then try and balance out. Yeah. So if it's just all single line, it may not be as bold. So some part, like say the corner or the border, like say if you do a scarf, you may want to wax out the entire, you know, border area, so that way you can crackle. So all these different things that you can you know, experiment and have fun. Okay. So
I'm going to share some pictures.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Jonathan. What pictures? Is it from the trip?
Yeah,
is it a surprise? Is it a surprise picture?
Tavan. Tavan.
Oh, Tavan. Okay, yeah, okay. Sure, now you can see where these two come from. It's a beautiful place on earth. That is my host. Her name is Sue. And there's no electricity skillet there, so fire has to be started. And then that was just a few hours after I arrived. We're already learning. This is a couple of days later, and you see how we don't stretch. The true way how the Black Hmong do their batik pieces. Look, she has a baby in the back. Yeah, that was her grandkid in the back. Yeah, and then we don't stretch it, but we lay out the hem cloth. This is an example. This is the piece, by the way. And you can see it. It made it back. It is the same piece that I was working on in that picture. So instead of stretching it in the hoop like this, yeah, we just put it on the board, on the wood board, on the wood piece. Priya, this is maybe something that you can also experiment. Grab a piece of wood, yeah, to do your tablecloth. I think it's so neat. But the thing is that I don't like about it, if I were to flip this way, you see the disadvantage of that? You don't get that strong line in the back, because in the end, when you pull that piece out from the wood, yeah, it may take away the wax from the cloth a little bit. So a lot of Black Hmong pieces in the back is not as identical as, you know, the front piece. Okay, so that's the only thing. So that's Sue trying to like teach me how to use it. I have to learn how to hold the tool. So when I was there, she said to me, hold it however you want. You know, her English was just kind of so as well. So I was holding it wrong the whole time, and I learned, you know, along the way that that's not the right way to hold the tools. So you know, at least now you get a good introduction. But how it worked, because I was holding it all kind of wrong.
Did they pin that on the wood somehow?
No. So the wood, apparently the wood has kind of like a wax residue from previous work. So what they do is they would take the tools and then they rub it in. They would rub it to the board, and then it will stick. It will stick, and then they're able to do, we're able to do the design on the fabric. So it is quite a process. And then yes, I'm gonna take up on Sima's suggestion to post some video, because I have so many from my travel. So we visited Sue's sister. Sue's sister has a whole store with all this Black Hmong fabric. And she also, in the back of the store, that is where the indigo process when that they did. So they have to dip the fabric 20 times to get it so dark to this.
Wow.
Okay, so the indigo is like the first dip is going to be like this, and then after 20 times it get like this, and then after 2 months it get darker. So the process is very interesting, from the fermentation of the indigo color.
Wow.
So I have to share with you some of those amazing trip video. Yeah, good idea. Okay, so I am not going to do the dip and the wax removal process. Yeah, because I think we can spend more time connecting like this rather than me bringing the hot water, all that stuff. So, and you guys are expert now. You know how to do the wax removal stuff, okay? And yep, I'm going to continue here. Yeah, so I'm going to remove the wax and complete the edge as well. But I have a lot to go. I have a lot to go. When you design, there's always some edit that go along the way. For me, I could start with one thing and then I'll end up with a whole different look. So it's just a process, a part of, creating. You can always, edit as you go. All right. So any other question about the tools before we say goodbye? Yeah.
This was so helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, thank you, Irene and Priya, Saima.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
And stay
Thank
connected.
you.
Yeah, stay in touch. And
Thank
I
you.
am doing the hand stamp class. When is the hand stamp class? I don't remember.
It's next Saturday. No, May 8th.
No, May 8th. So basically in the class, I don't know if have you done the class before? So I am teaching students how to create a stamp pad. So a lot of people, they look at the stamp, they'll be like, oh, that's an easy way to batik. I wanna just use the stamp, but trust me, even the people that have done batik so many times with the Tjanting, the moment they switch to the hand stamp, if they don't have a proper setup, you're gonna end up with a block. So the purpose of the class is really to teach you to create like a pad. So there's another layer of fabric that go in here. So we fill up with water. So if you see here, the sponge here, yeah. So there's water in here, and then this is a waterproof shower liner. And then I have another layer. There's water that goes under here. So there's a whole setup that you can do that help with the pressing and cooling of the wax at the same time. So that's what I teach, to using stuff from Home Depot for people to be able to learn do the hand stamp correctly. Because when you buy the hand stamp, you invest money because it's expensive. It goes from $60 to $120 just for one stamp. But if you don't have the right setup, you can't use the stamp properly. So if you can, I hope you can join me next, I'm so bad. Next Saturday. You can find the link to register in the network. Okay.
And we don't send anything out, so you can.
Yeah, we don't send anything out. It's just you joining me. I basically reconstruct, I construct the whole stamp pad in front of you, so you know exactly what to do. And I do a little demo. And then even the skillet section is so different. The skillet setup is also different, to really control how much wax that goes on the hand stamp. So I hope to see you. If not, I'll do this class again if there is a request for such. All right, so that's it, ladies. I have so much fun. I'm sure I'll finish it.
Thank you, Munirah.
Thank you very
Welcome.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saima, Irene. Bye.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your
Bye.
weekend.
Thank you.
Bye bye.